All right, every once in a while you need a fresh coat of paint, and the guy to do it is Rich McDanel. Look, my relationship with this family goes back 30 years. His father, now his son, that daughter, his family, they mean so much to me. So I'm out doing a little yard work the other day, and I see that beautiful truck across the street here in Monaca. And I'm like, I just got to reach out and say thanks. Because when I decided to bring what was then a station that I was working for as sports director into Pennsylvania to broadcast some high school sports, I would get that high school sports program and go through the list, and I would call various people and I would ask them to sponsor. And because of my ability or gift of gab, I could actually do a live commercial right over the phone. And if they liked it, more times than not they did, they would sponsor these games. And it was because of his father, his company, McDanel Painting, S.A. McDanel Painting, Beaver Falls, I was able to do a lot of Blackhawk everything. Football with the great Joe Hamilton and Mr. Hansen, and of course Jack Fullen and John Miller. But we branched into Riverside and Elwood City and New Brighton and Beaver Falls and Beaver, and a lot of it was because of his father. So I said, you got to stop over and spend a little time with me and talk about this incredible locally owned business that is now in its third generation. So tell me about how this thing started, sir, Rich.
Well, my father's always been a painter since we actually lived in Philadelphia in the 70s, and he used to be a car salesman. Well, he didn't have enough of that. His father-in-law, my grandpa, says, hey, you should start painting. He started painting for him and realized he could make some good money by painting on his own. So he, got the signs painted on his old 65-year-old Ford van, and before you know it, there was McDanel Painting. And so his brothers would get out of the service and everything, and he would hire them on. So he's had at least 4 brothers working for him. They had 11 children in their family, so it's easy to find workers. So I still have one of those uncles working for me. He's 70-some years old, still one of my best workers. And now I have my cousin and my son and my uncle, myself, and my best friend from high school, and I'm just blessed with a good crew. There's no two ways about it.
Well, listen, this is not work that is easy work. It's not for the faint of heart. And he's a little bit younger than me, but I asked him as he came in, he looks like a painter, and I said, are you still painting? And you're doing just that, are you not?
Yeah, that's the most relaxing part of my day. I do the estimate, the billing, and so on. But when I'm swinging a brush, I'm relaxing and peaceful.
Let's talk a little business, and we're going to get back to the family. I do the True Value Home Improvement Show on KDKA. I love home improvement. I think home is where the heart is. It's your biggest investment. But one of the things that I've often wondered, how does somebody even find someone to do a job, such as paint your house? Now, I, of course, have gotten to know a lot of people, but what should somebody look for in that painter or painting company before they hire them? What do you think?
Probably the most thing is reliability, and especially when somebody's inside your house, they're invading your space, so to speak. You want the people that are friendly, not cussing and swearing, and we get along with one another. There might be bickering here and there, but like I said, I'm just blessed with a good crew.
And you got to respect people's privacy, right?
Right.
And more importantly, they have to know that they can trust you and things aren't going to come up missing. And the best way, and this is what I have seen. Now, when that moving billboard, your truck is out in front of any location, when people call, you should always follow up with the person they were doing business with and say, hey, so how were they?
You can use them as a reference, yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of times they'll say, hey, use me for a reference.
So when it comes to pricing, it's all across the board. Is there a bottom line, or is every job different?
Every job's different, by all means, yeah.
What do you find to be the most interesting as far as structures when you have to paint? Is it the inside, or is it the outside, or is it a combination depending on if the sun is shining or if it's just too cold to be outside?
Well, you got what's very big deal is the old Victorian homes with the details and so on, the exterior. Those, when you step back and look at it, you say, I did that. And you can be very proud of that because people drive by and they see it.
A little Picasso work, right?
Correct.
Do you mind heights?
Not at all. I can't. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. So have you ever had an issue with that, or never?
No. I'm a bit of a monkey.
Do you feel just as comfortable up on the roof as you're down?
Well, you got to get your sea legs. In the spring, you've been interior work all winter. In the spring, it's time to get back up on that 40-foot ladder and you got to gain it back. You know, you got to remember how you were on the heights.
Let me tell you how much I love your father, and I haven't spoken to him in a very long time, and I know he is enjoying the sunshine in Florida and his love of golf. So much love to you, sir,
big
and
time.
thank you for everything you did for me. One thing, somebody said to me, why are you doing all these videos after spending 20 years in television and all these years in radio, when really there's no money exchanging hands? And I just want to do it because I love promoting good people. But the thing and the real reason I do it, especially when I saw your name across the street and it conjured up all these great memories, I would have never been able to do what I did back in the day if it wasn't for people like your father and others who really were so nice to always be there for me, whether it was a local bar or the pizza shop. They always helped me. But I like paying it forward. But your dad was truly the professional. He really appreciated people. He cared about people. And I noticed that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So you've got to credit your dad. With your
I
whole...
do. He's a perfectionist to a fault. And, yeah, you know, I've just been blessed with this, you know, legacy.
Did he ever make you go back and say, look, that job, you got to redo that job?
Not very often.
Well,
It might be a small detail. You know, there's...
Well, that
when
speaks
you
volume.
When
You
you
must
do a
have been
very
doing it
busy
right.
building, you know, there's bound to be a little odd end, but we're always willing to come back. That's what we say when we leave the job. If you notice anything that's subpar, let me know. We'll come back to fix it up.
So this place that we call home, Beaver County, I love it.
Oh, it's just... I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Where else could you be out, you know, with the leaf blower, look up, see a name, pick up the phone, the person who owns the company picks up the phone, and I'm like, hey, is your dad around? He said, no, he's not around. He's retired. He's in Florida. And I said, well, I noticed your truck across the street. And he said, well, that's me. And I said, well, yeah. He goes, I'm here right now. So basically, I'm literally 30 feet from him on my phone, and he's on his phone, only in Beaver County. What do you think makes this place so special? I know
Beaver
in
County?
my heart it's the people.
See, it has to be 100% the people. It is. You know, I've been to, say you go towards Philly, you ask for directions. Well, I don't know where the hell you're going. How am I supposed to know?
Mm-hmm.
They're rude.
But if here you ask them, they'll take you there if they can.
Correct. Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you so much. And obviously, you're going to be doing this for years to come.
Yes, I'm hoping to retire, but hopefully my son takes over and, you know, I can just coast, hopefully.
Have you gotten to the point where you're painting places that you painted their parents' place?
Oh, yes. And we've painted homes multiple times, too. Yeah, we've been with some customers for 30 years, you know.
And you told me your dad was kind of managing people in the construction business up
Yes.
until 80.
Yeah, at the age of 80, yeah. And he didn't want to quit. I said, Dad, you got to quit. Because he was cursing and stuff. So he was getting frustrated. He don't cuss. So
There's only one other man like you that can work the way you do. And I mentioned his name when you walked into this building, and he's been here many times. Rick Renaud.
oh, yep, he's a superstar.
Listen,
in a lot of ways.
I mean, one thing I love about people who paint, when you see them in a social setting, when they shake your hand, there's always just a few little pieces of paint that are still on their hand, because that's their badge of honor. They love what they do. And this family definitely loves what they do. Thanks for coming over today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, and I'm very excited.
Rich McDanel, McDanel Painting. They got you covered. Have a great day from the home studio in Monaca. It's your pack.